Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto Dream to Surpass the Gods. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Master all Uzumaki skills and techniques, and enjoy that guys. And remember, for new, yes, I did have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Making 3, which I post What If on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description for the other channels, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post. So without further ado, wasting no more time, what do you say we leap on into this new episode starts? The intro, guys. So, the last part that we left off, Gorin agreed to follow through with the proposition, as she had to make sure that Ikimura was safe, and the Hokage had promised that she would keep her word. This was better than having her mind run through by the Yamanakas, and not to mention, not knowing if Yukimura would die or not, so she decided to make a big choice. She was the one that went in first. Orochimaru was being rather cautious. Gorin was his second hand, and if she was out of the way, well, he would have to rely on the others here with his growing sickness. As he was still pissed off about Kabuta's death all those years ago, it was because of that Naruto Uzumaki, which he intended to repay one of these days. As Gorin finally arrived, he was cautious about her returning after all this time. She's been missing for quite some time now, but here she was, returning as if nothing happened, as she told him that she ran into a bit of trouble. Curious about this endeavor, he invited her in. However, he was cautious not to trust her immediately, as he would hear her out first. However, he prepared himself just in case. After all, you did not live as long as he did, without preparing yourself for any situation to unfold into not your liking. And as soon as he said that, Gorin launched a 3-pronged kunai towards him. His snarl turned into anger instantly, as he realized what she has done. He tried to leave, however, he was attacked. Orochimaru was not in a state to fight someone like that at this moment, so he tried to flee the location. As the others came down as they faced off against the Sound Ninjas that was trying to come to his aid. However, Gorin created a crystal wall blocking them, as she allowed the Konoha ninjas to block them off and defeat them outside. While Orochimaru was being tossed around like a rag doll, as he ran, he felt the fear creeping up behind him no matter where he ran, no matter how far he go. He was being hunted like he was some kind of animal, as Naruto hunted him down. Coming outside, him and Naruto started to battle, as Orochimaru was forced to transform into his Hydra snake form. The power that he gathered in this form was enough to take on a tail beast. Thus, when he held up his hand and started to generate the power, Naruto decided to pull out one of his techniques that he hadn't really tried out on anyone yet, the Elemental Rasengan. The technique was filled with the other natures of, well, every nature force, as he pulled them all together mixing with natural energy. The technique started to destabilize, however he kept it together with his clone. As Naruto shoved it forward, the technique took a lot more out of him than he thought, as Naruto had to send a clone to protect the group that he came with, otherwise they would have been goners. Kakashi and the others arrived at the scene once everything cleared away. It was pure chaos. Naruto had created a chasm larger than the Valley of the End. Judging that Orochimaru technique was in there as well, that still did not mean Naruto technique was not powerful. In actuality, it was aimed to overwhelm Orochimaru technique. The snake was trying to crawl away, however Naruto caught him. Naruto was much weaker than he let on, as he had used up quite a fair bit of his chakra right there. As Naruto marched towards the snake, he tried to flee but Naruto stabbed him. Three times now Orochimaru evaded him, but not this time as Naruto shoved a Rasengan into his chest, tearing out his heart, ripping the man into pieces as he made sure that he was dead. When the Konoha group arrived, Naruto was sealed away. Orochimaru as he collapsed. His body giving out. He was low on chakra as Ino caught him. She tried to scold him for pushing himself so hard, as he was doing too much. However, Naruto had to get going. They had to find Sasuke as he took a chakra pill. Knowing that it will have effects on him later on, he couldn't focus about that now. As Gurren led them towards the other location, arriving inside, they took care of the Sound Ninjas. As Naruto cut off the route so they could not find him as he found Sasuke. Sasuke prepared himself to fight, however. Naruto wasn't here to fight him, instead he was here to actually talk to him. Now that was surprising as he remembered what Naruto said in the past. But Naruto told him that even if he was to bring him back right now, which he could, Sasuke would just resent and hate all of them. And the hatred of his brother was too great, and no matter what he say, he will always seek out that revenge. So taking him back to the village right now would just be a hindrance on everyone. As he told him once he was finished with Itachi though, either he died or Itachi did. But Naruto believed that he would win though. A part of him did. As he actually wished him luck. Sasuke was beyond shocked hearing these things. It seems like Naruto has changed, as he never expected this at all. However, he thanked him as Naruto sent him away with a Hairushin, right towards the border of this village. As Naruto lied to the others that he wasn't here. Arriving back at Konoha, as Naruto sat down with Tsunade, she believed the same progress, as she was literally reading his mind. The same thing that Naruto came up with, she talked about it like she already knew, however, she did not say anything. Over the years, he has been loyal to this village through and through. Even though Sasuke might be a missing link, bring him back by force. Especially with the council who wanted to grant him, well, freedom. Because they wanted the last Uchiha back in the village. And even if he was punished, he would be locked in jail. And who would that do any good? As Tsunade did not obsess about Sasuke as much as Sakura did. As either he died facing off against Itachi or they got rid of another missing in out there. So the both options were good. So with that out of the way, as Gurren didn't want to stay around anymore, as they promised, they let her and Yukimaru go, as she was just gonna get out of here and find somewhere better for her and Yukimaru to relax and resign in. As Orochimaru was dead now, but she couldn't allow the others know that she was still alive. After all, she was once his loyal subordinate, so she would have to go off the grid for some time now until things cool down. Some time passed afterwards, as Naruto's name was more influential now, hearing that he had killed the traitor of Konoha, as he was rising in the ranks. As the team, except for Sasuke, all of the rookies went out, as they had a celebration after some time, meeting up with each other and greeting each other. Ino was there as well. Seeing that they chose to become friends once again, things went well. However, the next morning Naruto woke up, someone was in his bed. Now that was surprising, as he reached over and moved the sheet. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself. So to begin this new episode guys. Naruto was baffled, yes he was. As last night was a lot. Usually, it is hard for him to get a bit even tipsy. However, because of seals purifying his chakra system, as he did not allow the fox chakra to run through his coils, when he wanted him to, he was able to drink and enjoy the drink. Actually relax. He knew that he might have sent Sasuke on his way to death, facing off against someone like Itachi, but if Sasuke did not do this, he might come to resent everything around him and everyone, and Naruto would not allow that to happen. Sakura had become close to him. At first, he never thought that he could experience these kind of friendships and bonds. However, over the years he has changed, and she truly loved him. He wasn't sure how Sasuke felt about her, but if he could also help Sasuke get rid of some of this grief, some of this pain after losing his entire clan, he would help him. However, he knew that facing off against Itachi was not an easy feat, but Sasuke refused to accept help in this matter. It was his job alone to kill Itachi. That is what he believed. It was his brother, his responsibility. And Naruto would not get involved even though he would have a greater chance with Naruto being there. So when the others came around to have a drink and catch up with him, not to mention partially celebrate him defeating Orochimaru, he did not refuse because he saw Sakura has been incredibly sad since they failed to retrieve Sasuke, so he decided to make sure that she was cheered up. A part of him was getting soft regarding several people that he come to know as friends, and maybe that is not really a bad thing, but still. He remembered Ino being there as well. Rock Lee accidentally drank some of his sake and things went crazy. He and Guy had to restrain Rock Lee as he started to destroy literally everything around him, as they didn't want to harm Lee, but he went crazy. Eventually Naruto had to knock him out and put him to rest. He should not get anywhere around sake. And then who was it? Yes, it was Kiba. Kiba was rather angry that Naruto was the best name at everything, so he decided to challenge him to a drinking game. Usually he would not do something like that, but he decided to relish this once, and he joined in. To actually enjoy his time, he actually activated the seals, and he got tipsy. He could still focus, but he remembered beating Kiba at drinking, and then he remembered talking to Sakura and then Ino, and then he was now here. He must have come home at some point, because here she was lying in his bed, asleep. Slowly but surely Ino opened her eyes, as she felt a wicked headache coming on. She didn't like drinking, but for the sake of last night, she had indulged herself. Now she remembered why it was so horrible. The next day waking up was terrible, she thought, as Ino felt something strange in the bed. It didn't feel like her bed. Not to mention, as she opened her eyes, she looked deep into someone else's eyes. Usually she would have jumped out and screamed by now, however, those eyes could not be mistaken for anyone else. They had a brilliant shade of blue that she come to know over the past couple of years. As Ino saw him looking at her, as he looked quite surprised as well. What the hell was she doing here, she wondered herself. She looked around. She was indeed in Naruto's house. As she looked over the bed, as she saw her clothing, her face went a bit red. Last night came back as a pounding headache as she gripped her head. However, she couldn't remember if... Did we? She said, looking towards him, as she felt embarrassed. I don't know, he said. He too felt strange, as the memories of last night were not really snapping back in his head, and that was unusual for him. He got off the bed and swung his foot to the other side, as he was left in his underpants. That alone, she was wearing her bra and underwear as well, but the rest of her clothing had been stripped off. Could they have, and then she put it back on? No, she would have known. I don't think that we did anything. I think that we just fell asleep. Yeah, probably, said Naruto. I blacked out a lot earlier than you. I remember speaking to you, but it was so hazy. Perhaps you saw the situation I was in and you decided to bring me back here. And I probably convinced you to stay. Yeah, that must be the case, she said, turning her back, as she got her clothing and started to get dressed as quickly as she could. Sorry about this, she said. I didn't mean to. It's alright, said Naruto. We're neither at fault here. We just went a bit too overboard, he said to her. Yeah, she said. But last night was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, apart from Lee trying to attack everyone and destroy the location. Oh yeah, I think they should keep him away from Sake as long as he lives. You're probably right about that, said Naruto as he chuckled a bit. She smiled, hearing him chuckle, as a pounding headache hit her once again. You drank a lot more than me. How are you not suffering from a headache right now? He simply gave her a soft smirk. Oh yeah, she said. Well, I guess I'll be going now, she said. See you, later? Yeah, see you later, said Naruto, as she left a bit awkwardly, as she didn't really know what to say in this situation anymore, because she had no idea what happened last night. But she was certain for one thing, they didn't really do anything. She would have felt different. She would have known. As Naruto could not remember either. Laughter was in his head, as Naruto found himself in front of the cage. And what's so funny, he said, as he looked towards the fox. You struggling to remember what last night was. Really amused me, said Kurama. So, you're telling me that you know what happened last night? And what if I do? Let me guess, you're not gonna tell me, said Naruto. No, it's more fun this way. I figure you'd say something like that. You know, you being a jackass doesn't really help anyone. It helped me. Because it amused me, the fox said. Yes, I suppose you're right about that, said Naruto as he looked toward the seal. The fox noticed how curious his eyes got, as he just looked at it. What? Do you believe that it's finally time for you to learn that I am the strongest, he asked. A long time ago, in order to control his power, he told Naruto that when the day comes he will have to fight him, and in that day he will show him that he is still pathetic. By swiping him away with one of his tails, Naruto had the key for the seal Jiraiya gave him some time ago. However, he did not like to rely on the fox's power. He preferred to rely on his own, that is why he hadn't went and fight the fox yet. As Naruto turned his back, he then paused before he vanished. The fox lowered himself as he simply closed his eyes, as he snarled a bit, but he said nothing on the subject. Time skip. After Ino got home and she showered, her mother asked her where she was. Her father wasn't here. She told her that she spent some time with Soccer and the others. She didn't realize how late it was, that is why she did not come back to the compound last night. She decided to just stay over. Her mother believed that, as she had no reason to not to mention Ino was a grown girl. So with that, she got shower and then Soccer came by, followed by Tenten. The two girls started to smirk when they saw her. What's going on, she asked. So, did it work? Soccer asked. Did what work? You know, you and Naruto, said Tenten. Wait, what are you talking about? Well, last night you told us that you want to, be with him. And you asked us to do you a favor, so we brought the two of you back to his house. Although you were a bit drunk, but still, you were adamant that you wouldn't talk to us anymore if we did not. Not to mention you told us how much you love him from day one. We had to make sure that you weren't shouting every time you speak. You told us how much you love him from the day you saw him, and you wanted no one better than him. Ino's face was getting redder the more she spoke. And also, we tried to get any information out of Naruto as well, but despite being a bit drunk, he was able to keep his mouth shut. But he did decide to go home once. We told him that he had enough. We figured that the liquor would burn out of his system rather quickly. And you were adamant on going home to help him. We wanted to bring you home, but you started to attack us, saying that if we did not, you would never forgive us for this, and this was your one and only chance. And we were a bit tipsy as well, so we decided to play along. However, we kind of retained our sense of reality. I did that, Ino said. Yeah. It seems you have it framed really bad, said Tenten, with a little snicker. Hey, it's not funny. I wasn't me, I mean, are you sure about that, Soccer asked, with a warm smile on her face. Look, when I first met Naruto, he was strange. He was a stickler for the rules, especially on our first mission, but the more I get to know him, the more I realize how nice of a guy he is. He's someone willing to throw himself right in the midst of action to make sure that his comrades and friends are safe. Over the years I've noticed that. And since he came back, he has changed. He has become more caring and nice. And besides, you two had something going before he went away. You believe that he doesn't like you anymore, or perhaps he doesn't care, but you're wrong. Yeah, you're definitely wrong, said Tenten. The whole night as he spoke, I saw him glancing over towards you. And when you smile, he smiled. It seems like he found it warm and affectionate. Wait, really? Said Ino. Yeah. I think you should give it another shot. Just talk to him and let him know how you truly feel. But I can't. I mean, I've already done. It doesn't matter what the past. What happened in the past cannot reflect so much on your new future, unless you change it. If you let this past remain the only solid timeline, well, eventually everything's gonna die out, and your chance will never come, and soon enough, One of these girls around here is gonna snake him up. I mean, have you seen him? Not to mention, I've heard many girls around the village talking about wanting to ask him out. Some of them are afraid, but some of them believe that he's a nice guy and he will say yes. It's only a matter of time before one of them move towards him. I believe they're already starting. And then you will lose your chance and you will never have that chance ever again. Is that what you want? Of course not, said Ino. But it's just... Sakura placed a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, she said, we'll help you. Sakura felt strongly about Sasuke, and she knew that she loved Sasuke. Ino was her best friend. If Ino had someone that she could be with, and if Naruto wanted to be with her as well, she would be more than happy to make sure that they got together. Time skip. Naruto was called by an envoy immediately. It was Suki. She told him that he needed to come to the IT department, as Naruto wondered what this was all about. So he proceeded to make his way there. Arriving towards the location, Snazzy, he said, a bit surprised to see her here. What's going on, he asks. Firstly, Itachi Uchiha is dead. Wait, what? Said Naruto. When did this happen? Yesterday, she said, as she looked at him. The news has just broke. However, the source that we got this news from is quite strange, but it is someone you would like to see. They requested to speak to you personally. Speak to me, said Naruto. Well, seems like Sasuke went and gathered some friends. Look, let's not beat around the bush, she said. I know that you let Sasuke go. With this situation, I would have done the same thing. Dragging him back here. He would just come to resent and hate this village even more for not allowing him to get his revenge, and eventually, he would start to go against us. Even if we did throw him in prison, that would just enrage him even more. Look, I'm not questioning your loyalty. You've been loyal to this village ever since your birth, and no one can question that. So for now, I'll let this stay between us, she said. Because despite everything, he's still a missing in. However, this particular individual, I've placed her away from the other occupants. Seems like she's the only one that Sasuke told about this. Come on, she said. As they enter the room. Entering the room, Naruto saw a red-haired girl with red eyes wearing glasses. It's you, she said. Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto tilted his head. Your chakra, he said, walking towards her. It's so dense. Just like yours, she said. Yes, that's right. I am also Uzumaki. As Naruto raised his eyebrow at that. Really? He said. Yes. It may not mean much, but I hope you can understand why I'm here now. Something went horribly wrong. Sasuke told us about what he was gonna do, and what we signed up for. However, I was the only one that he told about his other motives. Once it was done, what he will do afterwards. Where he will come back to. And he also believed that there was a chance of him dying. So in case he did, he wanted to send his regards. That he's sorry. That he couldn't defeat Itachi. So did he. I'm not sure, she said. That's why I'm here. We need your help. He's gone. What do you mean he's gone? Said Naruto. We were stopped from entering the facility where Sasuke fought Itachi by Kisame, the monster of Kiri, the tailless steel beast. And while we surveyed the area, I was able to sense and pick up on the chakra signatures fighting. I felt it. Itachi died. I felt the exact moment when he died, and I thought it was all over. However, as I proceeded to make my way over there, another signature came out of nowhere. When he arrived, I saw the individual. He was wearing an orange mask with a single eye hole. He was able to disrupt reality, I'm not really sure. But his chakra, it was so similar to Sasuke. What do you mean? Said Naruto. I believe he was also a Uchiha. What? Hey kid. What is it? Said Naruto. You're gonna need to talk to me now. As Naruto appeared into my escape, can't you see I'm busy? Be quiet and listen. I'm afraid that we have a bigger problem on our hands right now. Huh? What is it? What I refrained to tell you all those years ago was, on the night that you were born, the reason I escaped was not to my own doing. I was torn out of your mother by a Uchiha. What? Said Naruto. Yes. He was wearing a cursed mask. He hid his face. However, he also had a mask with a one single eye hole. Showing off a Sharingan, he controlled me to destroy this village. Naruto stood there shocked, as this was not a possibility that he thought of. The fox never told him why or what happened that night. He kept that to himself. Why are you telling me this now? Said Naruto. Because if this is the same individual that came after me that night, he's gonna try the same thing. And I would be damned if I let myself get control once again. I prefer to give you this information and send you in to a losing battle. When I was being extracted from your mother, I saw him move. He has a strange ability to just pass through any solid object. I'm not sure what he did or how he did it, but you better be prepared. Because I will not be another person's puppet. Do you understand me? Fine, said Naruto. I'll prepare myself. The fox was angry, but he just didn't want to be controlled once again. As Cram or rather stay here then, being under that masked man control. He will never allow that to happen anytime soon. As Naruto snapped back in reality, Sasuke's chakra was so low. I'm not sure if he's dead or not, or whoever that guy is, what he's doing with him at the moment. Sasuke told us if you die, we should come here and send his last wishes. That he's sorry that he wasn't able to make it back. But I'm not sure what to do now. We searched, but we were unable to find him. He's gone. That is why we're here. We need help. I figured that you wouldn't trust me unless I reveal to you that I am also Uzumaki. I know that you have no reason to do so, given Sasuke is a missing and all, but we have no idea where he is, or what is going on. You keep on saying we, who are the others? He recruited a group. Sugetsu, Kisame, former projects of Orochimaru, she said. Projects. You lead me to believe that he was experimenting on them. Precisely. And what about you? Look, we don't have time for my backstory right now. We need your help, she said. We need to find him. Naruto took in a deep breath as he looked towards Nade. Time skip. Nagato sat in his mechanical walker as he thought about recent events. Itachi was dead. That was bad. That was not good at all. With Itachi's death, the members of the Akatsuki was whittling down. First it was Deidara and Sasori, now with Itachi. Kisame himself. The zombie brothers, as Kisame called them. Konan. And Madara was the only one left. And thus far they only had the 1, 2, 4 and 5 tails. Madara said that he should be enough to handle the 3 tails by himself. The 6, the 8, 9, and 7, they are the higher tails. The 8 tails is securing Kumo after their abduction of the 2 tails. There has been no information that's spread about that. It seems that the Raikage wanted to keep this to himself. He doubted that Konoha even knew about it. The Raikage, despite everything, he didn't want his village to look weak at all, so he kept the information away from every source. However, at the moment, gathering the 8 tails was a bit harder to do with the protection. But they will have their moment. The 6 tails was still being searched for by Zetsu. The 7 tails was in Taki. Those were not a problem. The real problem was 9 tails. He did not believe anyone besides himself and Madara could actually go up against 9 tails. And the only reason Madara can go up against him was because of that ability of his. However, in terms of raw power, he doubted that he would stand a chance with raw actual power if they were fighting on physical terms. To not let anyone know the 9 tail power actually baffled him as well. So far the reports came back in from what he has witnessed that the child has gotten exponentially stronger. He was strong even at a young age, but now he has grown. He believed that the child has surpassed Jiraiya some time ago. With his recent defeat of Deidara and Sasori, Toad easily outclassed both of them by himself. There's no doubt that he would have to put in a bit of force to get him down. And if he is in control of the beast, that was a problem because so far, they have not seen him use it but only once, when he was in Kiari to show the world that he was a Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. However, he had a plan. He also had a bone to pick with Konoha. A god should not feel resentment, but Konoha was the place that took away his parents. It was one of the nations that has brought so many death and chaos because they feel like they're untouchable. That is why he's gonna destroy it, as he's already made his mind up about that a long time ago. Not to mention Danzo being within the village. That man also need to die as well for what he did in the past. However, he had to make sure that Nine-Tails is caught off guard by the destruction. He didn't want him to be there when he was about to destroy it. Itachi's body was missing and he had no idea where the body went. Sasuke was a no-show either. He didn't know if he was dead or alive. From what Kisame said, when he got back there, they were gone. So he had no idea what the hell is going on there. Not knowing these things were really starting to anger him. He would just take his wrath out on Konoha. But he wanted the Nine-Tails to return once he's finished with his job. At the moment, he only had the zombie brothers to spare, but they should be a good enough distraction for the time being. Time skip. And this is where it happened, said Karen. Naruto looked around. The place was destroyed. The other members that came with Karen was still within the village, as they were in the IT department. Karen was not a fighter at all. She had the location because of her Uzumaki bloodline, as she was a far better sensor than Naruto on every level regarding sensory. As Naruto did not believe that someone could go this far, he was sent out here to scout out the location to see if there was anything that she was unable to see that he was able to find. As who knows better about space-time ninjutsu than Naruto regarding is Harashin. There must be a location. There must be some way that the person would be unable to go farther than a specific point. Tsunade had sent out some of her envoys as they were scouting the other areas around this land. 2 teams were sent with Naruto, as he had spread them out already, to try and find some sort of location, some sort of sign that there was movement around the area that Sasuke was taken to. With the eyes that Sasuke and Itachi possess, for another would she had to get their hands on them, someone that was out that he did not even know about. Well, it was quite frustrating to think that there was someone else out there that might be a bigger player in all of this, but he did not know. Not to mention the fox warning. He could feel the envoys as Naruto was in sage mode. Karen was astonished to the amount of power someone like him could wield. Now she understood why Sasuke spoke of him like he was some sort of ethereal being. She had heard that he was strong. She was the only one that Sasuke trusted enough to tell her about this, and that made her feel special. Sasuke knew that there was a chance that he might die at Itachi's hands, or there was a chance he might win and return back to the village, but this world was never that one-sided and peaceful. So he wanted her to be the messenger, to apologize for Naruto's sacrifice and everything, to even help him out a missing name. That he failed, because he wouldn't be able to face him. After all, he would be dead. I told you, said Karen. If I am unable to pick up anything, I doubt you would as well. In the field of sensory, I am unmatched, she said to him. As Naruto slowly got up. Yes, in that regard I presume you're telling the truth, said Naruto as he leaned down towards the stone, where he saw the blood. Itachi died right here. As Naruto sighed, Itachi was once his teacher before. Not for a long time, but still, for the man to go down this path, and now they having no idea where Sasuke is. This was bad. Both Karen and Naruto snapped their head around almost instantaneously. You feel that, said Naruto. Yeah, but it's gone now. What the hell was that? It didn't feel human. I have no idea, said Naruto. Something just popped out of nowhere, but it went away so instantly. They had no idea what it was, but it was gone now. It seems like it just melted with the earth, making the way over to the location Naruto tested the ground. His hand went right through it. It was soft. Whatever it was, it burrowed underneath. Some kind of creature. I doubt that is the case. It didn't feel like any kind of animal. Something violent, twisted though. Something unnatural. Yes, you're right about that, said Naruto. One of the envoys from the far distance came rushing over. We found something. As Naruto made his way after the envoy, Karen following along as well. Meanwhile, that was going on. You two have another target. You two are to go and capture Ninetales Jinchuriki. What? I thought the leader said he'll be the one doing that, said Kakazu. Well, change of plans. Besides, he's not too far off. You two should reach him in a couple of minutes if you move. Really quickly. And what's with the sudden change of plans? How should I know, said White Zetsu. The leader told me to inform you. Are you going against the leader, Black Zetsu asked. Of course not, said Hidan after all. It's time that we finally had some fun. The last Jinchuriki went after was loud, but she was just a weak bitch. Let's see this so-called Red Flash. I'm interested to cut him down. Remember, you cannot kill him. Only subdue, fine. But it doesn't matter, he will fall. But it's just a shame that he won't be able to see Lord Jashin. Kakazu on the other hand was a bit suspicious. The sudden change of plans was not something they were expecting. Come on, I'll lead the way, said Zetsu, as they move off. Back with Naruto and the others, he found a cave. In said cave, it seems like someone was here. However, the person seemed to have moved. As they found the patterns of footsteps. A lingering sensation of chakra. Small, but Naruto's Sage Mode was able to pick it up. However, the person had moved, as Naruto could not track this chakra at all. It was just gone. Whoever this was, they were here for a while though, because the chakra would have vanished a long time ago if it was just a small smidge of visit. So that means the person was here watching, and judging from this location, it wouldn't be that hard to be watching the fight between Sasuke and Itachi from staying here or moving back to this place. But this did not give them anything. As Naruto made his way out, there must be something around here. As the guilt was eating away at him. What if Sasuke was truly dead? No, what if worse? What if Sasuke was taken by some fiend that experimented on him and used him? Used him for his eyes or his Uchiha blood. Whoever this unknown Uchiha was, there must be a reason why he never showed himself. He must be sick, some problem, something. However, he was the one that let Sasuke came out here on his own. He should have done something. Convinced him. At least be here to make sure that he was safe after the battle. Damn it, he should have done something. Now when the news finally broke that Sasuke was dead, Sakura would be heartbroken. As Naruto sighed, it just made him realize how emotionally weaker he has gotten. If his captain had heard about this when he was in Anvu acting this way, he would be quite upset about his behavior. But he was no longer in Anvu, was he? Things have changed, he has changed, but still. He took a breath. As Karen could feel the emotions running through him right now. But she said nothing about it though, as she chose just to remain silent. Meanwhile, that was going on at the village. Tsunade was going to keep the information to herself, as she didn't want anything to tarnish Naruto's reputation, because she would have given the same order if she had known about the situation. However, Naruto did it without her consent, and she couldn't allow anyone to find out about that. These people, well, one in particular, to get her a job would do anything, and that was Danzo Shimura. But she wouldn't allow that. Naruto was one of her best assets, and she wouldn't let anything go wrong there. However, as she felt an odd feeling, she didn't know why. It just felt like something bad was going to happen. She tried to shake it off, but as much as she could, it just felt so Her door was swung open as a Chunin burst inside. The man was out of breath. Hokage-sama, we have a... Before he could finish that statement though, an explosion blew the entire building away. Everything was thrown. Outside, a colossal blast whipped away the village. It was pure chaos. Destruction. A few seconds earlier, Ino and her friends were sitting at the tea shop as they were trying to find a way to make Naruto and Ino get back together. Until Ino glanced through the window behind her. As she was lost in thought, that is when she noticed something hovering up to the sky. "Hey, what is that?" she said. "Huh?" said Soccer. "What is..." Boom! The explosion tore away everything. An attack so powerful that it literally whipped everything away, leaving a humongous crater in the center of the village. It was enormous. Outside of said village, a distance away, the 5 bodies of Pain lie on the ground. After using such a technique, he had to recuperate for a while. Using such a large amount of his power, Conan stood there watching over them as she watched them all rise. "It's done." The summoning passed as he looked towards her. As Conan saw the smoke coming from the village, a distance away, Jiraiya sat in a bar gathering some information. As he felt his stomach turn, he didn't know why. He had a gut feeling that something was terribly wrong. Jiraiya trusted his instincts, which he always did. He made his way outside as he went through hand sign. Summoning jutsu. Poof! A toad appeared. "I'm gonna need your help," said Jiraiya. Meanwhile, that was going on. "So it's a trap," said Naruto. The same thing from before showed itself once again and tried to lure him out. Karen picked up on the location as she went after it, Naruto moving right behind her. Arriving towards the location, they found themselves in a empty field, as there was a few trees around but nothing to injure them. As he saw 2 individuals up ahead. "Took you long enough." As Naruto looked towards Karen. "Is it gone?" he asked. "Yes." "So it's a trap," he said, as he looked towards the 2 men. As Naruto narrowed his gaze, he was no longer in sage mode as he stood there. One of them had silver hair, as he had a smile in his face, a strange staff with 3 blades on it. The other one wears something over his head, his headband, showing that he was from Take, missing in. However, their clothing showed that they were both Akatsuki members. "What is this?" said Naruto, as he looked at them. "Huh. You must be stupid. Can't you see that you walk right into your death?" As Naruto turned away. "Is there anyone else?" he asked. "No, it's just them." "Back up," said Naruto. Karen stepped away. After all, she couldn't really fight these kind of opponents. "Huh. Quite brave, huh? Think you can take us by yourself? Well then, Kakazu, do as the man said. Back up. He's all mine." "Hidan, don't rush into anything, you idiot. This is blah blah blah, Kakazu. Come on. What is he gonna do against me?" A frown came on Kakazu's mask, as Hidan's talking seemed to be really pissing him off. "The next time you get bisected, have someone else sew you up. Come on, Kakazu. I mean, you were the one that defeated the 2 tails." As Naruto gazed narrowed at that. "What did you say?" "Oh, you must be worried about your Jinchuriki friend. That is if you guys are friends. Is that wrong to assume that all Jinchurikis are friends?" said Hidan with a smirk. "Well, you should know that bitch went down swinging. She was tough, but not tough enough. And now you're my target," he said, holding out his staff. "So let's do this, shall we?" as he rushed forward and swing. As Naruto ducked under the swipe, the other one didn't seem to be moving at all. As Naruto twisted his body, the guy bring down his staff and tried to slice him down. However, Naruto moved and brought his hand around as he grabbed onto the hook. Before he spun it, Hidan felt the force whip out of his hand as he tried to hold on to it, but he was not strong enough. As Naruto's feet came up and slammed into his chest, Hidan staggered back, however. He had a rope attached to it as he yanked it. Hidan smirked as it was about to slice him until Naruto ducked. Hidan frowned at that. As Naruto jumped forward once he got back up. Before Hidan could reach the staff, though, Naruto stomped right on the tip, slamming the blade into the ground. Before he brought his leg around, a bone-crushing kick slammed inside of Hidan's head, dropping him to the ground. In a normal fight, that would have knocked anyone senseless. However, Hidan simply started to laugh. "Is that all you got?" he said. "Because if it is, you're weaker than I thought." As he got back up and attacked, his hand-to-hand combat was lazy. And not to mention, he was vastly weak as Naruto wondered how the hell is this guy S-rank ninja. Naruto staggered back as he flashed through hand sign. So fast, Hidan could barely keep up. Wind style. Bisecting slice. Hidan leaped away as everything was torn apart. "Behind you, you fool," said Kakazu as Hidan turned. However, Naruto gripped his face before lifting his body off the ground and proceeded to smash its entire skull into the earth. As Naruto raised his fist and dropped it in Hidan's chest, right where his heart was. His fist was covered in chakra, so that should be enough as the ground underneath him exploded. Karin's eyes went wide. "Holy shit," she said, astonished by his power once again, and even in his normal state he wasn't even using that sage mode thing. Hidan coughed up blood. "You bastard, that hurt!" As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, he was truly baffled how this person was able to stand up like this. Meanwhile, a toad hopped towards the village in a leaf as it arrived through a well nearby. The toad's eyes went wide as it saw explosions, fighting taking place. But what truly baffled the toad was the gigantic hole that was once the hidden leaf. It quickly went through hand sign, reverse summoning itself immediately. Jiraiya was instantly brought back to Mount Miyaboku in a rush when he heard about that. Ma quickly came through the well as she summoned Jiraiya to the village. The man was baffled, shocked as he saw his home a smoldering crater. He couldn't believe it. Jiraiya walked as he heard the explosions. Rushing towards him as fast as possible, he arrived. What he arrived to see was Tsunade on her feet, taking deep breaths. The diamond on her forehead was not there. As she used up all that chakra to summon Katsuya, was all over the village healing the wounded. In front of her were 6 individuals. Those eyes. As he landed right beside her, "Jiraiya," she said. Jiraiya looked up. "Yaiko," he said, a look of shock on his face. Meanwhile, that was going on. Hidan's body was once again implanted in the earth. The man found himself at a disadvantage. He was unable to keep up. Hidan might add his special ability, however, the strength and force that Naruto had was something different entirely. But the battle at the Hidden Leaf was raging. Pain knew that he couldn't afford to waste time with Jiraiya, so they all jumped him at once. Jiraiya was strong. However, Paul had quickly used the reverse seal, as the Toads and Naruto had a special bond. The seal was able to react Naruto's skin just in case of this situation. As Naruto found himself in the midst of the battle, he jumped away, as he had thrown Hidan into a tree. Kakazu would not interfere yet, as he was studying Naruto's abilities, it seems. Naruto went through Hansen as he slammed his hand down after getting the signal. The amount of chakra required to summon Paul was a large amount, however Naruto had chakra in spades. "Fukazaku-sama," said Naruto. "What is going on?" "Naruto boy, problem at the village. It's being attacked." "What?" Kakazu heard that as well. "A distraction," he said, as he said it out loud by accident as he realized. As Naruto realized what was going on. "Where's Jiraiya?" he asked. "He's there fighting. He needs your help, Naruto boy." As Naruto looked towards these 2 individuals. "You really think that we're gonna let you leave?" Hidan said. Naruto looked down towards Paul. "Return back to the village and give me 3 minutes, and then reverse summon me there." I should be done by then. Alright, make a haste. You need to return. With that, Paul vanished. 3 minutes. Don't make me laugh. Do you really think that you can? As Naruto features started to change, the ground underneath him cracked. Karen stepped back, shocked and frightened by the power. Even Kakazu raised an eyebrow as he realized what was going on. They were used as distractions. Now we're cooking. Come on, power up, get stronger. It will just be more fun for me, he danced as he shot forward. His staff came down, however. Naruto caught it and snapped it. The look on Hidan's face was one of absolute shock, baffled as he couldn't believe it. As Naruto gripped him by the face, before he held out his hand, electricity started to gather on his hand. It started to get so potent that the electric shock started to become white. Kakazu shot forward knowing that this was bad. However, chain shot from Naruto's back, forcing the man away. Kakazu, help me! Hidan shouted. However, it was too late as Naruto grabbed his head. The electricity exploded violently. Hidan's entire head was obliterated, gone into dust. As Naruto threw his body in the air, he proceeded to go through a hand sign. Wind style. Eye of the storm, he said as he slammed his hand together. Hidan's entire being was captured in a storm. It spanned so viciously his body started to be torn apart. The only thing that fell was his medallion and a piece of his Akatsuki clothing. Naruto didn't move in. Kakazu hardened his skin as Naruto's fist made contact with his face. His head snapped to the side. The blow strong enough to actually hurt him as he staggered back. He brought his leg up as Naruto hooked it with one arm and flipped him. Thread shot from Kakazu's back, however. Naruto's chains ripped through his back, pinning him to the ground. 3 more chains came out and tore through his arm. A Rasengan form as Naruto drove it through his back. The ground was obliterated under Kakazu with tremendous force. Karen, said Naruto as he turned his back. Go and Naruto ducked as a fist passed over his head. Kakazu was shocked. He was able to react just in time. Naruto turned and backhanded Kakazu as the man was launched. He smashed through several trees as Naruto moved, cracking the ground as he ran. He ran as several chains came from his back. They stuck in the ground as they pulled and propelled him forward. Naruto flashed through hand sign. Wind style, he said. Spiraling snipe. His entire body became a bullet of wind. Kakazu righted himself at last moment, however. Naruto tore right through his left arm. The wind being enough to pierce his skin deeply. As Naruto stopped right at the right moment and grabbed his face by the mask, before he proceeded to lift him and smashed him in the earth. The wind mask appeared on Kakazu's shoulder as it spewed a highly dense, pressurized pressure of wind. As Naruto realized his time was coming to an end, he told him 3 minutes. He tilted his head as the wind obliterated the trees, clearing a wide path for him. A Rasengan form as Naruto drive it down. Kakazu opened his mouth as threads burst from it, the Rasengan countering them. Kakazu was able to slip away, using his thread to reattach his arm. He had lucky that he moved in the last moment, otherwise he'd have been torn in half. Threads exploded from his body as he impaled Naruto from all sides. However, he watched Naruto's body go up in a poof. That is when he heard a strange sound. He looked up as the entire tree line parted. His eyes went wide as the entire ear started to whistle. Kakazu readied himself, however. A kunai landed right behind him. Before he could even turn, as he spotted the glance of a flash. The red flash appearing as it slammed into his back. He cried out as the technique drilled into him. It tore him apart, destroying all of his remaining 4 hearts in one go. The entire forest was obliterated, the Anbus arrived on the scene. All of that happened in less than 3 minutes as Naruto arrived. There's problem happening at the village right now, it's being attacked. Bring her back with you, I am poof. Naruto was gone. What just happened, one of them said. He was reverse summoned to the village. The village is being attacked by some unknown foe, said Karen. All of the envoys quickly jump into shape hearing that. A few minutes earlier though, a minute and a half to be exact, Snavy was on her knees, panting as she was gonna black out in time now. That accursed woman with the paper technique prevent anyone from coming down here by blasting the areas. Some of her top Jonins were not here. My guy was on a mission with his team. Some of her top envoys were sent out to help Naruto with his search. This was the worst time for the village to be attacked, and Naruto was not here either. He should be getting here soon though. However, that guy, Snavy kept herself awake so she could watch the events, to make sure to relay all of this information to Naruto once he got here, as this small cutscene that she had was reviewing everything as well. The problem was Jiraiya didn't stand a chance against the six of them. They were in a rush. That woman with the paper prevented anyone from coming down here by blasting all the areas, because they were in a giant crater to be exact. They were waiting for Naruto. She realized they want him to come and to not have any hindrance. No, she screamed out as she watched Jiraiya got impaled, as she was unable to do a damn thing about it in her state, as her skin was getting wrinkly. As she had used up most of her chakra to heal the people of the village, her diamond was gone. She watched as Jiraiya drop down to the ground. He was only able to destroy one that was a summoning one. However, the thing came back alive. Somehow they were able to bring back their dead back to living. Paul had went off to find Naruto. Thus, Jiraiya was not able to use Sage Mode. He was not a perfect sage like Naruto. He needed their help. Ma tried to help him, but she got killed. Paul wasn't even aware of this. She wondered where the toad was. She knew that it would take him some time to return, but at this moment things were bad. The last thing she saw was Jiraiya smiling at her, as she watches his eyes close. Forever, giant rod sticking out of his chest. And that guy had the nerve to smile. She heard someone cried out her name before she heard a scream. Her eyes went wide as he could go in her state, as she saw Ino got blown to bits by paper bombs. Her body was thrown as Sakura attacked the woman, however she was knocked away as well. That woman with the paper proving to be a dangerous foe. They clash. The woman surrounded everything with explosives. Ino got hurt from the first impact. Ino tried her best, but she just couldn't against Konan, who drive a paper sword through her heart. Snavy was stunned, shocked, in absolute fury, as she tried to get up to her feet. Lady Snavy, you can't. Not in this state. I have to do something. Ino! Sakura screamed, as Ino looked towards her chest where the paper sword had driven right through her. It had torn right through her heart. Over back to the side. Even at your weakest, you still try to rise. Can't you see pain is inevitable? Pain is unstoppable. Gods cannot be stopped. Konan pulled her blade out of Ino's chest as the girl fell dead. Sakura jumped towards Konan as she tried to take her down, however. Konan was a S-class Kunoichi, a very dangerous one. Sakura was just not on her level, as she was blown out of the air by explosives. Her arms were sliced as paper shurikens attacked her. She tried to block as best she could, as she looked towards the body of Ino just lying there motionlessly, unable to move. These people were working fast. Nagato had gave Konan orders to kill everyone on sight, and to not stumble. They were supposed not to waste time, as Konan was ruthless with it as well. The remaining shinobis all came towards the edge as they started to rush down. As Konan spread her wings, they had to move away as she released hundreds of paper shurikens that came skewing down. The Inashikacho members remained alive, as well as Choji enlarged himself and attacked her. However, she dodged the attack mid-air. Over to the side. Once they realize that their head has fallen, I presume their will of fire will break. You will never break her will of fire. I'm only here for one thing. If you wish to die as well, then so be it. Say Tendo. I know who you're here for. But once Naruto get here, trust me, you're dead, she said. False hope in people shall get you nowhere. No one can defeat a god. As the robot pain shot forward, once the head is gone, the body shall fall. As the robot pain extended blades along its hands until chains burst from the ground and skewer it, tearing the thing apart. Tendo raised the eyebrow at that as Naruto landed right beside Snappy. However, his eyes were unfocused, as he didn't even seem to be looking properly at anything. Naruto was in sage mode, so he could feel everything around. However, what he was focusing on right now was two individuals that were not moving. The first was Jiraiya. In sage mode, he could feel people life force, their chakra, and it was no longer there. However, Ino was not moving, and he felt nothing. No. This must be some illusion. Ah, I see you're finally here, Ninetales. Took you long enough. Naruto stepped over the body of the dead Anbu that was with Snappy. The entire four-man group had been wiped out. Naruto, said Snappy. Naruto turned towards her. He walked up towards her, as she gave him a small slug. She should be able to help. Their techniques, they're strange. A clone poofed into reality, as the slug climbed up Naruto's hand and went under his shirt. The clone picked up Snappy. I'm sorry, she said. She passed out, finally releasing as she couldn't hold on anymore. As Naruto vanished, she reappeared beside Ino in a flash. Raw speed as Konan turned, being so close. She turned her gaze towards him as she pulled out a paper blade and swiped it towards him, but he was already gone. Ino's body was gone as well. Naruto appeared in front of the rock wall. The shinobis came to a stop when they saw him. As they looked up towards him, Sakura eyes filled with tears as she looked towards the body. Naruto handed her Ino. He said nothing at all as he turned his head towards the foe. All of you, stay back, he said. Kiba was the one to speak up. We can't just let you go, and Naruto gave him a look. Kiba's mouth shut almost instantly. The wall under his feet started to crumble as Naruto's chakra started to spiral out of control. As he jumped down and started to walk. As Pain saw him walking, as Tendo started to walk as well. The remaining paths, even the robot path who had just been revived by, the revival path started to walk. As Konan flew off, going back towards the original Pain. It was then that his control slipped. Everything felt his power. Every remaining Konoha shinobi, even Nagato in his far distance, felt it. The pressure was so intense. The ground was shrink another deep level down below. The power put out was enormous. He had used a clone already to move Jiraiya's body. The field was empty, so everything was decimated. So this is the power of the Nine Tails, Pain said. However, Nagato realized that this was much greater than he thought. As Naruto's head was lowered towards the ground, 9 chains emerged from his back. His hair became a lot spikier, his eyes showing the sage mode. However, the markings on his face had a tinge of red in them. His eyes were glistening with a red and golden view. The ground under his feet trembled under the pressure. As Naruto's eyes show nothing but death. But guys, if you end subscribe right here for the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to post a bell. For now, see you guys soon. Peace.